Trent, the Cincinnati Reds just lost in Arizona. We had an exciting and fun night last night, with JJ Bleday hitting for the cycle. I think it was at the ninth in franchise history. But today didn't go as well, and it's been a tough week overall. So let's get right into it. Welcome to Riverfront Territory, part of the Foul Territory Network. I am Mason Estep of Reds Daily, joined with Trent Rosecrans of The Athletic, and he's covered the Reds a little bit longer than I have. Trent, it's been a tough week. Is this the tough week of the season, do you think?
I was just kind of looking that up. I got to go that first week of May because that was Friday, May 1st to May 8th. Lose 8 games in a row. That is when they were actually, there was like hope for the season. You were 20-11 after April. You had some hope. You had like flying high first place and went from, let's see, May 1st, you lose at Pittsburgh. So that was that you get swept at Pittsburgh, then get swept in 4 games in Chicago, then lose the first game to Houston. So you go from 20-12, tied for first place, to, let's see, 7 games out after Friday. So that was a worse week. And that was, you also lost your closer, Emilio Pagan, that week in Chicago at Wrigley Field. Both games, or both weeks, featured a catch where if Dane Myers makes it, the team wins a game, and maybe it's not the worst week ever. So
Yeah,
that's where I'm going. I'm going that one.
I think that's fair, and it's tough because I love David Myers, and he plays the game so hard. I feel like that he can make those really athletic, miraculous catches. It almost puts you in a position to also get burned and be in those positions.
Yeah, and that I was just looking at that Cubs series. You had 3 of the 4 games were walk-off losses, 2 in 10 innings.
Yeah, that was tough.
So yeah, this pales in comparison to that because people were still watching then. And if you weren't watching this week, well, you did miss something. You missed a cycle. We had that too.
We did have a cycle, but it's almost like when you're watching like a boxing match, and for the first time, it might, the tide turns. You can kind of tell who's going to be the winner. But this week just feels like, a knockout is coming, and we're just getting pummeled in the face, So I guess it's kind of different, but not necessarily more or less enjoyable.
Yeah, it's just more dirt on the grave. They're already in the ground. Now it's just piling it on.
Yeah.
And then after this trip to San Francisco, you're at Chicago, at home against San Diego, and then it's San Diego, right? And then the Brewers, Dodgers, Brewers, Dodgers. Well, let's back up. After these 3 games in San Francisco, it's Cubs, Padres, Brewers, Dodgers, Brewers, Dodgers, Cubs, Braves, Blue Jays. So you don't have a series against a non-playoff team after the San Francisco one until the last 3 games of the season.
Yeah.
That's bad. That is rough.
That's really rough.
One more game and they don't lose 100.
That's it. That's all we need. Yeah. Okay.
All they need. So if they just win 1 game in September, yay.
Yeah. I mean, so
okay, I think that should remind people. Like, I hear people every season like, oh, they're going to lose 100. How hard it is to lose 100 games. Because that's hard. This team is still like, 62 and is it 69? 62 and 69, yeah. So as bad as this team has been and performed, it's nothing like that 100-loss season a couple years back.
I think the beginning of the season has to help with that.
Oh yeah,
we started off so hot
twenty and 11.
yeah, that can negate it.
But that's how it works. You got to win those, and then not so much.
So with Terry Francona, he came in, there was a lot of expectations. They obviously snuck into the playoffs last season, by um, very thinly they got in. So this season's been a major disappointment. I mean, Terry Francona is not a young guy. Uh, I feel like they're going to have to turn things around fast, or I mean, how long can this era continue?
Well, of course, I don't know if there's a season next year. Um, so we shall
Fair.
see. I mean, and really, I think it's kind of beyond. I don't know. What am I going to say? It's beyond just the manager. Like, I was going to say, you could have the greatest manager of all time, and still it's not going to make a difference. And Terry Francona is a Hall of Fame manager, and it's not making a difference. So
That's
it's
a great point.
beyond that, to be quite honest.
That's a great
And
point.
like the manager is the least of my would be the least of my concerns right now.
So if that's the case, I mean, Trent, we've seen the comments, we've seen I'm sure you've seen the people we've talked with in the past. There's always the calls for change at the top, from sell the team, but also fire Nick Kroll and all these, and they go from loving him to hating him to loving him to hating him.
Well, if you fire Nick Kroll, I will tell you this: if you fire Nick Kroll, Terry Francona's quitting. Terry Francona is a believer in Nick Kroll and Brad Metter. He those are the two reasons he's here to begin with. The two biggest reasons, and that has not changed. He is still steadfast in that he believes in those guys in that system. So, you know, I if you want to if you believe that Terry Francona is the right manager, well, he believes in those guys. And that is the reason he's here and the reason he will stick around if they're still around. If they're not, he I can see him walking away.
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess Terry Francona is 67, which is tied. Pat Murphy's also 67. I think so those are the two oldest managers in the MLB. And I just remember we had Tony La Russa come back for a little period with the White Sox. I don't know if that ended up very well.
It did not.
Yeah, air has
Well,
changed.
the White Sox are good now.
Not with La Russa, but
Yeah.
yeah, for a few reasons. But baseball changes, and Terry Francona has won a couple World Series, and he did great in Cleveland too. He took him, but yeah, it's.
I think he's a very good manager. I
Mhm.
don't think the manager is the issue. I mean, I'll say it again. I put it on ownership,
Yeah.
and I will continue to put it on ownership. And yeah, that's the bigger issue than anything. Like it's not. It's really tough to kind of like get into all that kind of stuff, and I am kind of working on a story about that that hopefully will be out, and I can talk about more later.
Okay. Hey, we'll be looking forward to it. All right, Trent. So, looking at today's game, Andrew Abbott pitched a pretty good game. I mean,
Yeah,
what was he, 6 or 7 innings? 6 or 7 innings deep, and he had one run before a couple squeaked in
yeah,
with
that's in
Luis
the
May.
seventh.
Yeah, in the seventh
Yeah,
inning.
and like there was that. It was kind of the perfect storm. You get the runner in third. He kind of ran out of gas there in the sixth, and so I would have loved. I mean, of course, this is hindsight. Like I would have sent just from where I was like, yeah, Andrew Abbott, send him back out. But then if you kind of go rewind and be like, ooh, maybe we start clean inning and see if we can get through. But again, that's you have 3 more games until you have an off day, and so that bullpen is already taxed. You've mixed and matched just with the roster the spots that you can use, and so it's going to be, once that day off is going to be huge. Of course, then you go into Wrigley and you face a Cubs team that has played really well this year, and
Yeah.
just yeah, 1-6 or is 6-1 against the Reds this year, including the aforementioned 4-game sweep.
It's going to be fun. I'm sure they're going to be really lighthearted episodes in our near future with how the games will go. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. And you saw the play that really kind of was the dagger when it went past Hector Rodriguez, and Dane Myers was seemingly out of nowhere. He was like right behind him in right field, bobbled the ball, a couple runs scored, and it seemed like that really was the breaking point for the game. Where after that, they never gave the lead back up, the Diamondbacks. So
yeah, rough one, just a rough one.
Yeah, but let's talk about that a bit. The outfielders for the Cincinnati Reds has been a point of conversation all season, but the defense now is really something that continues to come up as a topic.
Well, as well it should. Like it's been rough. You don't have anyone. Let's see. I was kind of looking about outs above average. Friedel's been +5 in center field, which my eye test hasn't shown me that, but like, hey, give him credit. He's gotten what he needs to get to. Dunn +1, McClain +1, and Myers 0.
Yeah.
And that's outs above average for just center field. Overall, Friedel 4. These are overall. Yeah, anyway, it does, there's math and all there. But I went and looked at these right up, and like, you just don't. I don't know if you. I remember I've asked some people, like, what's your best defensive lineup? And they're like, I'm not sure. And I don't know what it is. I honestly don't know what it is on this. Especially if Blake Dunn's not there.
Right.
Because you'd start with Blake Dunn probably in center. Not the greatest arm, but he gets to stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of like Billy Hamilton. You can make up for a lot with speed.
Right.
And Blake Dunn's got speed. And Dane Myers, you felt good about, but he has had some of those where, he's never been afraid of a wall, which is good and bad, right? Because sometimes you need to be afraid of a wall, and he's run into plenty of walls. I think Dane is certainly a good platoon type, and he's been a really good pinch hitter. So in a certain role, but when you're a role player and you're having to play every day, that's when those other parts get exposed. And I think we've seen some of that. And it's been a rough go. I think one of the last other shows this week, I said, Hector Rodriguez has been better in the outfield than I expected. And
I think it was our last one.
Rough game for Hector Rodriguez today. The triple right before on what's his name? Not Carroll, but the other triple. What's his name? Vargas's triple. Looked like he just took a really weird angle on that ball. Vargas hit it well, but it scooted past him, and I think that was like just a poor angle. And then the throw, which I think we're going to see a lot of. Who might be really happy about that throw? Dane Myers.
Yeah.
Because we've been talking about Dane Myers' missed catch for a while. That throw, even though it didn't have the same impact on the game, it was just spectacularly bad.
Confounding. I mean, it was like almost surreal. I mean, I was watching it on the broadcast, and it just like goes off frame, like in a weird way. You're like, where did that go?
And then you see JJ Bleday fielding it in left field.
Yeah. You see the run come in, the catcher. There's, it's like, okay, what just happened? And it felt like it took the broadcast a second to catch up. Like it's the throws in left field.
How can you do
odd.
That? So.
I mean, okay, I didn't play, anything like these guys, but I played in high school. But I mean, dude, I don't remember seeing things like that. I mean, that's wild.
I've seen it. My high school team I coached, I've seen it, but that's a whole different thing. I have actually seen that.
Well, okay.
But
all right.
On a major league field, I have not. But yeah, it was
peculiar to say
So
the least. Hopefully that was a one-off. It's a possibility, but like you said, I mean, we've seen some interesting uh, angles from Hector before. We've seen some questionable defense out there before with Hector, and we had hoped that for some reason had been worked on a bit at the major league level. But I guess time will tell. Time will tell. We'll see. That was a very odd one. Um, moving on from I guess if today's show's the good, the bad, the ugly, that would be the ugly, the bad would be the loss. Right after this break, let's get to some of the good, Trent. We did have some good this weekend,
okay,
and we'll take
yeah, we did have the good this weekend.
That's right. We'll take a look right after this.
For the families out there looking for a new path to help your child succeed, take a look at K-12 Powered Schools. K-12 offers tuition-free accredited online public education for students in kindergarten through 12th grade. It's all in a setting that works for your family. And K-12 has been around. They've been a leader in online education for over 25 years, serving over 3 million families with flexible education options tailored to each child's needs, interests, and goals for the future. K-12's dedicated teachers are trained in virtual instruction, and they provide real-time support. Hey, we've heard Todd Father on here talk about how his kids have gone through homeschooling, and it's really helped them for a family that is very much on the move during his playing career. So you can see how K-12 Powered Schools can help unlock your child's full potential. Enroll online today at k12.com/FOUL. That's the letter K, the number 12.com/FOUL. K12.com/FOUL.
Welcome back to Riverfront Territory, part of the Foul Territory Network. Okay, Trent, if we're talking good, bad, and the ugly, I don't know if it's proportional necessarily. There was a lot of bad and a lot of ugly, but there was some good, and the good was the 9th cycle in Cincinnati Reds history. The cycle has always been interesting. Eighth cycle. And it's always an interesting stat for me because it really just, it doesn't matter. I mean, necessarily, it's like anecdotal almost, but it's fun.
It's fun. So, like, I know a lot of people who dislike it and whatever, and like, I understand that. It's not saying, like, yeah, 4 home runs is better. Like, that's the bottom line.
Sure.
But it's fun and cool, and I love the build-up. And I will say, it includes a triple, and I love a triple. Triple's my favorite thing in baseball because, like, I love watching a triple unfold, and when you see it, you're like, ooh, that could be 3. That could be 3. And you're trying, like, from up in the stands to watch. And, like, because really it's an in-person thing. Because on TV, it's just like, you can't do it. But in person, you're like, okay, I'm watching the runner. Where's the runner? Where's the ball? How's he going to get it? How's his arm? Where are they going to do it? Is he going to go? Watching the third base coach. Watching the guy take that rounding a third. And then in. And, like, for the most part, triples will get a throw. And so you're like, okay, you're trying to follow it all in your head, and I love the triple. It's my favorite thing in baseball. And because it is simple, but it's also difficult. And, yesterday or Saturday was Ellie De La Cruz was triple shy of the cycle as well. And there's never been a game with 2 cycles in it in Major League history. Yeah, so they were triple shy of just this amazing feat.
And that's fun.
Yeah, that is fun. And, like, the one guy, you'd be like, okay, triple.
Right.
Would be Ellie De La Cruz, especially in a place like Chase Field. Because that has been one of the big parts about the Reds not having one is Great American Ballpark gives home runs to players. It suppresses every other type of hit. It is harder to get a single, double, and triple. Like, it's easier on average to get a home run at Great American Ballpark than other places, but it's harder to get a single, double, or triple because it is small. So it's pretty cool, and that's why, like, Christian Yelich, I think, has 3 against the Reds and 2 at Great American Ballpark.
That's wild.
It's phenomenal. And that's the kind of stuff, that's why I love baseball. I love these little things. When you play 162 games, there are these little things. And, it's funny because one of the things that does nothing for me, but it's still the same thing. Like, it's the same argument, but it's just less fun for me because I think it's maybe because one thing is the immaculate inning. Like I was like, when has this become a thing? I don't remember it until Drew Storen did it for the Reds, and I was like, this is a thing.
Yeah.
And then you hear it now, and
Yep.
it is cool. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and if I'm a pitcher, I think it's super cool.
Oh yeah.
But and just as you can say, well, 4 home runs is better, you can say, well, 3 first pitch outs in 1 inning is better, but it's not as fun.
Right.
But yeah, I'm not enamored. Like, there's so many strikeouts that the immaculate inning doesn't do it for me.
Yeah.
Although I do wonder if we may get more. I don't think I've heard about it as much, and this will be a thing over years with ABS, because like I was talking to Andrew Abbott after his last start, and he was like, what was his last start? He was like 80% strikes or something crazy. He was up there. And the thing was, he was saying, yeah, you know, it used to be you wanted to be around 70. But now he was like, I'm going to just see if I can throw everything for a strike. And then I asked him afterwards, I was just like, hey, you know, how much does ABS play in that? And he's like, oh, it's a lot. Because, you know, it used to be you'd try to get guys out on balls. Well, now, because then you had to fool the umpire and the you know, you could fool the hitter, and sometimes you could fool the umpire. Right. Well, now that they can challenge it, it is more of a waste pitch. So you do want to fill up strikes. You don't want to throw everything in the strike zone because that's when they pounce on things.
Yeah, it's interesting.
But he was saying, yeah, part of his thought process was, yeah, you need to throw more strikes and you have less leeway because of ABS now. And then hitters know the zones. Umpires' zones have shrunk because you used to be able to get that pitch. You know, when there was no recourse, umpires would give you a ball or so off the plate. Now they're not going to give it to you because they don't want to look bad.
Right.
Like everybody go, oh, you stink because you missed it by this much. And so it is interesting. And I think that is something that is normalized over the years, but I think it's going to take a couple years before we see all the effects of the ABS. And I think that's one of them is you've got to throw more strikes because you're not going to get bailed out as many times by, you know, this is before your time, but like Eric Gregg. Eric Gregg isn't going to bail you out like he did Livan Hernandez. So those things I think will be interesting to watch down the line. So
it's so interesting.
That's a long way to say is I like the cycle.
Well, hey, you did say one thing that I thought was cool about loving the triple. I love the triple too. That's probably that may be my favorite stat on the back of a baseball card when a guy leads the league in triples. You know, Juan Pierre was one of my favorite guys, non-Reds, to watch. And he legged out. I mean, he's a fast guy, high contact guy, yeah. Lots of. But I was taking a look at the top 10 guys in triples in the last 25 years. And these are some of the most fun guys to watch, you know, in the game. You know, Carl Crawford, Curtis Granderson, Christian Guzman was fun. So
Corbin Carroll.
Yeah, dude. All these guys.
Did you see that stat today? I mean, the Corbin Carroll has 16 triples this year.
Wow.
Like, to have 16 triples and 18 homers is pretty impressive. So I don't know, maybe you missed this because I did show it up here and it blew me away. So he leads baseball with 16 triples. Luis Ariz, Pete Crow Armstrong, and Otto Lopez are tied. Oh, and Jake McCarthy are all tied for second. How many triples do you think the next most is if Corbin Carroll is 16 at this point?
Oh, I have no idea.
7. He's more than doubled them up.
Wow. He's led it for the last 4 seasons. He's either tied or led the league in triples.
Yeah. And that helps where he plays too. You know,
right.
Like Ellie De La Cruz plays half his games at Chase Field. I think he would have a lot too.
Fair point. But no, the other thing you said that was interesting, is about how ABS will affect the game in a few seasons. And you just think back to the NFL. I mean, they always have, you know, big impacts over time, but the challenge and throwing the challenge flag, icing the kicker, you know, there's downstream effects that are impossible to predict, and the teams that, you know, kind of can innovate quickly and fail quickly can be the pioneers and trailblazers in those respects. So the Reds have been pretty good with ABS so far. So
I'm pretty happy with myself. Top ballpark for triples was on the Statcast Park Factors leaderboard.
who is it?
And these are all, it's Chase Field. It's a 210, which means it is 110% more than the average.
Okay.
And then bottom is, T-Mobile. Cincinnati is 10th. Much
Really?
more than I thought. Less than I thought. And actually, Cincinnati is the doubles. At least this year, the Park Factors, it's 100, so it's right on average. But I mean, the one thing that I think people overlook is it is 26th in Park Factor for singles, so it's 94, so it's 6% tougher to get singles at Great American Ballpark than other places. And then
That's interesting.
home run, it is third behind Dodger Stadium. No, I mean, some of that is the team. Yankee Stadium, which is kind of a joke, and then Great American.
Yankee Stadium, man. I understand getting grandfathered in, but I mean that. What is it? The right field is like, it's like ridiculous.
Well, it's not grandfathered because that was built in 2000, what, 10?
Yeah,
Was the first year
Mm-hmm.
of
Yeah.
New Yankee?
So what was? Well, I guess I'm thinking about the old Yankee. Then, yeah, they
but
let
it's
that.
still also a short porch.
Yeah, it was crazy. But hey, where's Coors Field on that list?
For home runs,
Mm-hmm.
7. And then the other thing with the thing about, like, it's not as much the home runs at Course, it's all the others. You know, because it is so big and you have elevation, and that's the other part with when I was talking about Chase Field. Chase Field's also at elevation. The humidor has helped, so its park factors are actually pretty low on home runs, but for triples and doubles, it's up there.
It's interesting, and I know that is it Safeco Field, the Padres stadium? Did they
Petco
not?
is the Padres.
Yeah, did they not?
They
extended the outfield, right?
No, they moved it in.
Or they moved it
because
in.
it used to be huge,
right?
And then, like, you know, at Kansas City, they moved in many moons ago, and then they still have done it again. And well, sadly, that ballpark's probably going to go away.
Yeah, I need to check it out before that happens. I've seen some calls for the Reds to look at it in the past, but you know,
I've talked about it and talked to people about it, and I think there is part of it. It would be interested, but it would cost a lot. So I don't know.
Well, and for the Reds, it would eat into seats, right?
Yeah, they would eat into seats, but I mean, you're kind of not using them.
Not like they're getting filled up.
You gotta give them a reason to be used.
Right. Yep. Well, hey, I mean, in conclusion, cycles are fun. Losing is not fun. And the Reds have a tough schedule coming up, but let's take a look at this schedule coming up, Trent, in a little bit more detail right after we
break.
Hit one more break. Yeah.
SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace for Major League Baseball, and anytime you want to go to a game, you should go to SeatGeek. I used to call the director of team travel. I used to call the traveling secretary, whatever they want to be called, KP, to try to get a seat. But on SeatGeek, I can pick my own seat, and I can pick where I want to sit instead of being told where to sit.
Yeah, it's a great option. And summer is coming to an end here soon. I'm going out and finding all the day games possible, all the warm weather cities, so I could stay in this tank top. I can watch very competitive baseball. As the calendar turns into fall, I want to make sure that I get the most out of this tank top and warm weather, and SeatGeek is where I would go and get my seats.
You can use code Territory10 for 10% off your next set of MLB tickets at SeatGeek. That's 10% off MLB tickets with promo code Territory10. Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app and have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later.
All right, welcome back to Riverfront Territory, part of the Foul Territory Network. Okay, Trent. Yeah, so you kind of dove into it a little bit earlier. Long story short, it's been a tough season for the Reds so far, and it's not going to get any easier. What was it the other day? You looked at like the strength of the schedule and what the Reds are facing.
Yeah.
Worst in the league, right? Like it's the hardest in the league.
Oh, it's by far the toughest. And after the next 3 games, that's going to skyrocket even higher, because the worst team they have left is these 3 games. So that is to say, if last week was one of the worst weeks of the season, you just cross your fingers and say, hey, the Giants are bad, and start the week off right with Chase Burns on the mound.
We always have a chance with Chase Burns, so that's nice. But we talked about it in another episode earlier in the week about some of the storylines we're still watching for the rest of the season, because it's not necessarily about the wins and losses at this point. The losses are to be expected. Where's Chase Burns going to end up? Where's Sal Stewart going to end up? And what's going to happen with this Rookie of the Year conversation as we continue to look at it? To me, it seems to get more and more pronounced, the difference with these guys. I mean, Sal Stewart's got 27 home runs, 98 RBIs, still first in the league. And Weatherholt, I mean, these numbers it's such a contrast. 17 home runs, 48 RBIs. We've all heard the defense argument back and forth. I mean, Sal ends up with 35 home runs, 125 RBIs. It would, I mean, I just don't. I can't imagine how he doesn't win it, but I'm a little bit biased.
I can.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can see a world where he doesn't finish in the top 3.
Yeah.
Even with 100 RBI. There's some other, like, both rookie classes are really good this year. So I think he'll finish second. Or he could finish first still. The 98. So he's going to get to 100 RBI here soon, and that's going to be pretty impressive. I would venture to say he's going to get to 100 before September.
Yeah.
And that's impressive. And again, everybody says, well, Ellie De La Cruz, all this, but like I pointed out the other day, this team doesn't get on base. This is the worst team in baseball getting on base, and he's still going to lead. He's got a very good chance at leading the league in RBI for a team that is last in on-base percentage, and he's their I don't have it right here, but I'm guessing he's their best on-base guy. So, yeah.
Sal.
Yeah. All teams.
Yeah.
Cincinnati. Where are the Cincinnati Reds? Oh, they're in the National League. Yeah. No, actually, Ellie has a higher on-base than he does.
Oh, does he really? Where's he at?
Yeah. He's at 343, and then Sal's 336. I mean, 262. Sal has him an average, so they're around the same. Wow. 817 OPS for Ellie, 808 for Sal. So they're right there, neck and neck. Sal has him on homers and certainly on RBI.
He's only 22.
Ellie's got him on triples. But yeah, those. But that's the thing. It's tough. It's been a rough season for most of this team's hitters, and they just still to have 100 RBI season in his first full season is really impressive.
He's 22. Chase Burns is 23. Ellie De La Cruz is 24. So maybe the tip of the spear of a new core emerging among this group, or maybe we'll see what happens in 2027. We don't know if it's gonna be played or not. So that'll have a big impact. But some bright spots, Trent. Some bright spots. Some things to follow. So we certainly will be watching the rest of the games, talking about it here. If you haven't hit subscribe, please do, so that you can join the conversation. Please, leave comments and questions, and we'd love to keep the whole thing interactive. So, with that being said, I think we'll go ahead and wrap it for today, Trent. We appreciate you guys all listening live and the questions, and we will smash that subscribe button if you haven't. Hit that smash, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Either way,
Smash,
and
enjoy the bash. See you, baby.